Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Self?
Good. Yeah, really good. Well, apart from my household, everyone's a bit poorly. Gino has got COVID for like the fourth time. The Bailey's boy. That's gonna kill me, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love Bailey's. Oh, love a Bailey. Anyway, yeah. So they're a bit poorly at the moment. Sarah's still poorly. Gino's come down with it.
Much love,
So,
Sarah.
so I'm just trying to avoid everyone, like, not get too close to them.
Yeah.
But no, other than that, it's been, really good. We had a good catch up over the weekend with everyone from Talk to the Paranormal. Some exciting stuff in the pipework there.
Cool.
So it was good to see them and then catching up with you. You've got a new job.
Oh, mate, it's brilliant. Loving it. Everything seems to be falling into place nicely.
Yeah, it's all good. It's nice, chilled, and we've got a lovely show this evening. Lovely guests.
Yeah.
So
what do you think of the new streaming platform?
It's different.
Let's see if we get cancelled this week. Yay.
There's a lot of buttons everywhere. So as you see, my hands are here, so I'm going to let you control everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good. But yeah, we've got a great guest tonight. Do you want to give a bit of an intro about who we've got coming on tonight?
Oh, we have the wonderful Glenda Dawson, magical creations, spiritualist. Oh, the words, can be said. We're, it'd be nice to chat to, last week's show we had a bit of everybody on, and this week we're back to one guest, so it's a bit more normal because last week was a bit overwhelming. So this week will be nice to I was thinking. But first of all, we've got a few people in the chat. So we've got our wonderful friend from Tasmania. We have Cheryl. Hello, Cheryl.
Hello.
Good morning to you. Then we have we don't want that one.
Parapost.
Parapost. Then we have good evening, Rob and Bailey's boy. For anyone that doesn't know, Nando's a big girl and drinks Bailey's on a night out.
Look, everyone in the comment, everyone please say they like Bailey's as well. It's a great drink. It's lovely. Look at the state I was in because they didn't have Bailey's at the bar when we went to the festival.
Yeah.
The next day I was absolutely awful, so.
Then we've got, thank you for catching the live, Cheryl. Finally, it's only been 11 shows, but we've finally got there. So that's great.
That's the main thing.
And then Birmingham, Alabama. What's up, guys? And then
a comment that I like. See,
Bailey's is nice.
Bailey's is nice.
As Cheryl's my number one fan, I'm going to accept it from her. Still not from you, but from Cheryl, yes.
Listen, right? I think it's an age difference between me and you. You don't know. You're still drinking all that gruel that was in Oliver Twist and that. That's what you're.
On that note, we're going to bring Glenda up and thanks, Nando, for joining. We'll see you again next week, yeah?
Bye, everyone. Evening. Hello, Glenda. How you doing?
Yeah, okay. How are you?
Yeah, I told you, he's pushing the boundaries already with me, so we're getting a bit, Do you like Bailey's? Do you like Bailey's?
I really don't drink.
Fair enough, then.
Okay, so I'm not really a good judge of character as far as that's concerned. But it is a nice, sweet drink. So
it isn't. See, it's nice, sweet.
It's soothing. Yes.
Yeah, it's a nice drink that you can have by the fire. You can just like
and sip it, not just go.
Oh no, Nando glugs it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no sipping involved with Nando. It's literally down the hatch, and that's it.
It was a good drink. But no, firstly, thank you very much for taking time out of your day to join us. It's great to get to meet you. I've seen a few of your shows that you've done, which is you bring a very calm environment to your shows, like the way you bring out the way you start it. You're doing so much. We'll get into it, but yeah, if you haven't checked out Glenda's show, she is streaming on Parapost as well. And do you have your own page that you stream on as well, Glenda?
Yes. I have YouTube, Glenda's Magical Creations. I have Facebook, and all over the place. I have my own website, which also streams it there. I'm also on the Conscious Awakening Network, on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, yada, yada, yada.
So if
And
you
of
haven't
course,
checked Glenda out, go and check her out, because it's definitely, especially if you want something calming to watch, I would say Glenda's the show to watch as well.
Yeah, all Glenda's links are in the description of the video, so you'll all be able to click on her links and follow Glenda. Please subscribe to Glenda's channels.
Definitely.
Cheryl says good morning.
Good morning, Cheryl.
So, let's kick this off. And the most common question that
Sure.
I would like to ask is, how did you get into all of this? Like, what was your story? Where did it start for you?
It started from birth.
Oh, okay.
I when before the age of 2, I was told I wasn't able to walk at all. They have taken me to a specialist and specialists all over the country, all over the place, and they kept saying no, she's just not able to. For whatever reason, there's difficulties from birth, yada yada yada. Well, one day before the age of 2, archangels come in. Now, I've been seeing them all this time. They come to me, a child, in costume. So I always thought it was cool, and I always thought everybody could see them. And so they came in, they said, come on, let's go. You can walk. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's been told that I haven't been able to. So one of them picked me up, took one of my hands, picked me up. And then I started walking immediately.
Oh, wow.
And then, of course, I was in the front porch just hanging out while my mother tidied up. It was like somewhere in mid-afternoon, maybe around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And so I woke up and I just go to her and say, hey, Mom, can I have something to drink? And, of course, there was a lot of screaming, fainting, neighborhood coming, little stuff like that, and I'm here sitting here like going like, why is everybody going crazy? Like, all I want was something to drink. And I'm not realizing that I'm walking, but I wanted something to drink. So that's basically the first deep memory I have. So
wow. And that's quite a memory, from the age of 2. Because a lot of us, like, if I was to say my youngest memory wouldn't go back to that sort of age,
right.
So it must have been quite a strong,
Well, think about it. You're sitting being told you can't walk, and you've tried and you can't. And then all of a sudden, the guy in the costume that you see all the time comes, tells you, yes, he can, picks you up, you go inside, and then there's all this commotion. So that would definitely kind of engrave it in your mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
But,
that's it. And when do you recall, like, when you must have come out to, like, your parents speaking to your family and telling them what you remember? What was this something that your family have had the same sort of experiences? Maybe not with the walking, but like the visions and the gift, yeah. Or was it something you?
My mother, yes, my mother is a generational gifted person, or was. I was told by her, "You only come to me. Don't talk to anybody about it." And then, because my father was very, very, very Christian, and the fact that I'm able to say this, that, or the other thing, or I'm seeing this, or I'm seeing that, it kind of put me either away, or I'm talking to Satan or something, So, but my mother was a lot more open, and she understood. She used to see visions and had premonition and knew when something was not right, and the same gifts, just had to keep them to herself. And all the women just kept it quiet, and nobody really told anybody except for like I could talk to my grandmother, I could talk to my mother, I could talk to my great grandmother, but you were not supposed to talk to anybody else about it. So, which is valid. So,
did you find it hard to, because it's sort of like you're suppressing your personality in a way, aren't you, to
right.
what you truly are? Did you find
Well,
that sort of hard?
Yeah, I didn't find it hard until I was older. And in the very beginning, it was more like, okay, my mother explained, don't do this. And I just like, okay, my mother should know what to do and what not to do. But when you started getting into high school and then into college and all that, and you're like, okay, I could see this person is going to be sick in 2 weeks and they're going to find out it's really bad. And I couldn't say anything. So I had to like, okay, just keep your mouth shut and just say, okay, I didn't see anything, I didn't hear anything, I just move along. So
it must have been harder if that person that, as you say, was going to get sick in 2 weeks. It must have been hard if that was a friend,
right?
You know, because you must have wanted to have said something.
Of course, but you learn that at that point you couldn't really talk about anything because that's what all these psych wards were about.
Yeah.
People seeing things, hearing things.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that a lot of the people that were put away were just gifted and nobody could talk about it and nobody knew what to do with it. So
it's a shame, isn't it, that
yes,
that's the way, but do you remember what was the point that you thought, no, I'm not going to suppress myself and I'm going to be open and share my gift with people? Where was that point for you to do that?
When one of my girlfriends said in college, you want to go to a psychic? And I was like, wait, you believe in that? And that was like, and then we just started talking about it and found out that there were a lot more people that were gifted and were interested in the gifts and accepted gifts than people who were not. But everybody had to be quiet because you didn't know how anybody was going to take it. So
yeah.
But, and then as time went by, slowly I started coming out of my shell and slowly testing the waters. And now I'm out here. It's too late. Got out of the box.
So now, if you know that someone's not going to be well, do you give them a pre-warning now?
If their guides tell me it's okay.
Okay.
Because that person may have to go through all that for a lesson. So I don't, it isn't up to me. I'm still going to ask their guides, hey, is this a pre-warning? Is this a lesson to be learned? Is this something that they have to go through? Because maybe when they come out of it, they're going to be such a better person than when they went in. So sometimes you just have to still stay quiet.
Yeah.
But for you, from such an early age, where you wouldn't have fully understood what was going on, like from the age of 2, but as you started getting older, things become more stronger, and it was more, recognizable that you had this gift. How did you go through the transition as going through each stage of life to, manage it? Because I've spoken to some people and they say it could be really overwhelming, especially when you're with crowds of people, things happen. What did you do to sort of manage those feelings and, put it into some kind of order, really?
I was very blessed. I had my mother to tell me how to turn the gifts down, how to put a shell around myself. So if I walked into a crowded room, not that I ever really liked crowded rooms, but if I walked into a crowded room, I can then just be in a bubble. So the emotions wouldn't hit. And then I learned, they used to call me kind of like a social butterfly because I would go to one person and talk to that person and be mindful of only that person. So the rest of the room would kind of disappear, and then see somebody else and go and talk to them, and the rest of the room would disappear. So I would be so focused on just the one person that nothing else could affect me.
Okay.
Wow.
Because I kind of like, I don't proclaim I've got any special abilities, powers, whatever people want to call them, but I do feel people's presence sometimes, but I also feel their feelings. Like I've been to places before where I get overwhelmed because somebody else is overwhelmed near me, and I'm like, whoa, hang on a minute, I'm not sure about this. I'm not sure I want to feel like this. So how can someone that's unsure like me deal with something like that?
Well, what I teach all of my students is the on and off button. Literally, envision a light switch going up and down. When you don't want it, you just turn it off. It takes practice, but you set the intention that every single time you envision turning the lights off, basically that's it. You don't want to be empathic, or you don't want to feel those feelings, and you kind of protect yourself that way.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Cheryl says, does everyone have guides?
Yes, Cheryl, everyone has guides. Whether you know it or not, you're born with 6 guides, 6 types of guides, and they are with you through your whole life when you die. Now, there are other guides that are going to come in and out of your life. Like maybe you were really close to your grandfather, and then all of a sudden he passed away. Well, he could become a guide for the rest of your life, or just for a certain problem or a certain situation or time period. But yes, everyone is born with 6 particular guides. And then depends on what you do, whether there's a lot more, but definitely 6 are always with you.
And you're saying that everyone is born with guides, like like angel, and I do believe in that. Like you all, like for me, I would say, and I've said this before, I would say my angels would be like my grandfather and my auntie, because there's been too many things. And the same as I don't proclaim to be anything, but there's been situations where I have felt their presence near me, But do you believe that everyone is actually born with the ability to have like these psychic abilities, or is it chosen? Like, I don't know if you're big in religion or with what you do, because as I was saying backstage, you're very spiritual. Is part of that religion? Is this something that is blessed to you by a higher power, that they see that you're here for that reason?
I am here for a reason of connecting with my higher power, which is the same as everybody else's. But then also I committed myself to doing whatever it is that they require me to do to better humanity. So, for example, if there have been times where it's 2:00 in the morning and I get woken up and one of my guys stands in front of me and says, we have somebody who's in Dunkin' Donuts, and they're on the edge. They may think of killing themselves. So all I need to do is show up there, start a conversation with them, and maybe just talk to them long enough that they will think twice about doing it. Talk about what the blessings are, I'm grateful for, and maybe just doing that, talking to them enough to get their thoughts away from that of ending their lives. So that kind of thing. Then, sometimes it gets a little tiring because usually the phone calls don't, so to speak, don't come in during daylight. They like to do that in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a bit personal, but you're saying about your partner, everyone's reaction to this sort of ability is very different, you know.
Yeah.
But when you're getting close to someone, like when you've met your partner for the first time and you're building that relationship, how did he take it when you sort of come out and said, "This is what I can do. This is what you're gonna. Is me and my spirit guides," and you know, what was his reaction to
Well,
learning
my
that about you?
partner, we met at a mediumship class.
Okay, fair
So
enough. That says it all. There you go. Simple answer.
yeah.
That's a great
But
place.
but the previous two partners that I had, they the second one knew. I did mention that I had gifts, and he knew I had gifts, and he knew, still knows how strong they are. And the first partner kind of discovered it as we went along. But I did tell him before we got married we were going to have 3 kids. First one was going to be a boy with blonde with blue eyes. The second one was going to be a girl with dark hair, blue eyes. And the third one was going to be a boy with brown hair, brown eyes. And it happened.
Oh, wow. So you actually predicted it to the T.
Wow. I need you to come over here so you can predict every time I'm going to be in trouble with my wife.
Yeah.
I need that. It could be
number.
like my alarm bell saying you're going to do something to upset your wife, so rethink everything you're doing today. You know, it'll be good to have you here. But no, that's amazing to be able to predict those sort of things. But how do you get these? Is it an image?
Well, I'm very blessed to have all of my clairs open. So I get them by hearing, by smelling, by tasting, by seeing with my eyes, or seeing with the third eye, and then just knowing. Just, okay, I don't know where this is coming from, but I just know it. And yeah, so of course I haven't been able to get those lottery numbers just yet. I'm working on that one.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch with you every week from now on.
Anything
happening? Anything going on up there? Come on.
So we had Heather on the show, didn't we, a couple of weeks back, Heather Matteson. And she done a reading for me on the show. And basically I was in a catch-22 about a job. Do I take the job and get the offer of it or not? And the advice she gave me, literally a few weeks later, the job offer was there, and obviously I started the new job. So I do, things are slowly coming together quite nicely since I've become in touch with myself a lot more. I do a lot of meditation, more meditation and stuff like that now. So some people frown at me when I'm sitting down by a pond, like listening and drifting off, but I don't care.
I could just
they have their path, you have yours.
Yeah, that's it. Go on, Nando, carry on. You were about to moan about something.
I was just going to say I'd be scared if I was walking down the street and I'd just see you meditating in the middle of nowhere. They'd be like, well,
wow, harsh.
It's a bit scary. But anyway, let's move on before I get kicked off this show. Yeah, I'm not doing well, am I? So, the sense that you've got all your senses there going. With your kids, have they experienced similar to what you've had then?
Yes, they have. And they also experienced the fact that they couldn't get away with anything.
Oh, wow. That's the thing. As a kid, that's got to be... Mum knows what I've done before I've even actually done it. So
I used to tell them, I prefer you tell me the truth than a lie.
Yeah.
Because telling me the truth right off the bat will save you a lot of trouble, because then the consequences are going to be double. So they learned, and then as they grew older and we would sit down like for a holiday dinner or whatever, I would say, yeah, remember when you did this and you did this and this, and they're all looking at me like, oh, you knew? I said, yeah, I'll let you get away with that one. That one was a small one. So think this way, if you only did that and you got away with it, we're good.
That's me. How can I put this? I'm gonna.
Oh, here we go.
No. I'm going to put it nicely. So, as I was saying, you are very spiritual, right?
Yes.
Do you follow a religion? Like you said, your husband's Christian. Is that right?
No, no, no. My father was very
Oh,
Christian.
your father
I
was
was
Christian.
brought up Christian.
You
I
were
was
born.
brought up Christian, yes.
And do
But
you use your religion as part of what you do? Like, is there?
well, some people call me a Christian witch, which is a combination. But I believe all religions have the true basis. The true religions have a true basis in love. Doesn't make any difference what you believe. It's what we love, what we don't love. So if we just love each other and have empathy for each other and respect each other, it doesn't make any difference if you follow this branch of the tree or that branch of the tree. It's all the same tree. We all come from the same place. We'll go back to the same place.
That's true.
If they're saying, like being a Christian in the Bible, it states we were made in their image. Now, so there has to be a female and a male because I'm a female and you're a male. Otherwise, we will all be males or we will all be females. And the fact that we all come from different hair color, different eye color, different shape, that means that there has to be more than just two.
Mm.
So I believe the higher power, there is a higher power. There is a divine being, whether it's one being or two beings or however many beings there are. But I believe they're the ones that have decided to create us and make this world for us so we could evolve and our soul evolve and learn and not and experience what we need to experience.
Okay.
And now, this, it's like, people say, oh, you need to be this or you need to be that. Well, you're judging. And what does the Bible says? Don't judge, right? So
That's true.
No, I
That is
do
very true.
agree. And with yourself also, do you find that there's a difference between like all psychic mediums, the way you all do things? Are you
yes,
all different to you, like as an individual, or do you find you do things the same way, or is it based
no,
on that person?
we really basically each one of us do it differently. Some people have some clairs more open than others. And even if you have all your clairs, um, I may at one moment just see something, and they may hear it. It's So we all do it differently. We all explain it differently. We all have our own what I call dictionary. You
Yeah.
know, um, based on our experiences in this lifetime. So if a spirit brings down a cake, for example, and there's no birthday candles on it, even though it looks like a birthday cake. If it's pink, I'm going to say, oh, somebody's going to have a baby girl. If it's blue, somebody's going to have a baby boy. If it has candles, then let's see, what is it? Is it a celebration in general or is it a birthday? And it depends on the number of candles. So that's why each one of us has our own dictionary. Each one of us has our own way of looking at things. And you two keep saying you're not psychic and you're not all this, but I'm feeling that energy that you both have gifts. You just haven't fully developed them.
I think the only gift I got is getting myself into trouble with the wife all the time. I think that's the only gift I think I've got. But no, I think a lot of people are scared to delve into it because there's got to be you've gone through that whole transition from
Right.
not being open to being open, and it sounds like you've had a great experience, but you must have faced that negativity at the same time, like.
Oh,
And how do you deal with the negative side of things then? Because that's got to take its toll on you as well when someone comes at you and I hate to say it, but let's be honest, like you're fake, you're making things up, you're playing on people's emotions. That's one of the things I think is very common with people that have gifts, and unfortunately there is people that have been found to be fake. How do
mm-hmm.
you respond, or how do you deal with the negative side of what you do then?
I bring them some evidence.
Okay.
There you go.
That's that's an honest answer.
I connect with their guides and I say, okay, give me something that nobody else knows. So this way they know that I am not, taking people's money or all that stuff. Besides the fact that I do so much complimentary stuff
Yeah.
that nobody could say that. If somebody doesn't have, I mean, I do a Reiki clinic.
Yeah.
I don't charge for that. If somebody wants to donate, fine, but I stream it all over the place. I do meditations. I do mediumship development. No charge. If somebody comes and wants to donate, of course I got to pay bills, but
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm not charging. There are certain things you have to charge for it because that is the requirement of that particular thing. For example, Reiki. If you're teaching Reiki, you're supposed to have a full exchange of energy. So you're supposed to charge, and yes, I could charge less depending on if the person doesn't have the right amount, money or whatever, but you still have to have an exchange of energy. So there are certain things that energetically you're not allowed to do without actually exchanging.
Right.
So,
So how would me and Nando develop our gifts now? What would be your way of telling us to
well,
develop?
one of the ways that I teach my students when they come on Thursday nights is to just sit down and first call in your guides so they could protect you, and then say, I really would like to see if there's anything you guys have to tell me. I want to hear it. I want to see it. They may show it to you in a picture. They may show it to you like a little movie that you may hear it, or you may just know it. And the second thing I tell people is trust yourself. Write it down before your monkey mind, the side of the brain, says, this is wrong. You're crazy. This is you talking. Just write it down. And then you have it right in front of you before you even question yourself or doubt yourself.
Wow.
That's the beginning, the easiest way to begin. But always ask for your protection.
Yeah.
Because, literally when you're opening yourself up, you're becoming a portal. So.
Yeah.
But with saying that, following on from that question, you're saying about the mediumship development. Are you saying that people with no ability, so say for example, like me, I don't feel that I've got the ability because I've never delved into it, but are you saying that people can actually train to become without any kind of ability whatsoever?
When you're born, we are born completely open. The fact that we close up is because of society later on. But when we're born, that's why there are children that you hear stories and you read books about where they remember their old lives, their previous lives. They know exactly where they were buried and the reason how they died and what their name was and how they looked and what town and all that stuff. It's because we're open. We still have full knowledge. It is once we start growing up that people say, oh no, you have an imaginary friend. That's silly. That's just an imaginary friend. But you're talking to spirit right there. You're communicating with something. So that is why I keep saying, everyone is born with it. It's whether you develop it or not. And then also you have to be brave, right? You have to be brave to actually develop it. Because if you develop it and then you start telling your family starts noticing and they don't accept you, then not in a good place.
Yeah.
So, but that's basically, we are born the same way.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. So you say you teach, is that with the magical creations? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. So how many students do you have?
It depends from week to week. The mediumship, some weeks we have 20 people, and some weeks, I have 5. It all depends. Since it's open, that's not the advanced class. It's open, and everybody, whether you're advanced or whether you're just starting out, we all communicate. We all join in energetically. And I have students from Canada. I have students from the UK. I have students from the other side of the US, everywhere they
Wow.
come on Zoom,
Yeah.
and we all get messages. We all learn how to read for each other, which is very healing because a lot of people, get to hear from their grandparent or their parent or their loved one in particular, and they feel like they're not alone anymore. So
Yeah. Okay.
So with yourself, you're very open to all your senses, and
mhm.
you've got to have a very open mind to be able to achieve those senses. But do you put yourself at risk then when because there's always the light side, but then you've got the darker side. So we're delving into the darker side of things. How do you know what you're challenging, like what you're channeling, isn't something dark and it's pretended to be something good? Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
how do you separate those to protect yourself? And like, do you choose what comes in and what doesn't? Where?
Well, if I do any class, for example, even when I channel, I call in my spirits. Hi, Sarah. I call in my spirit guides and my protectors. Now, my protectors, I call them all my team.
Hmm.
And if they let something through, then I know it's in the light. That I have gone into places where people have gone, say, investigators go in and start antagonizing the spirits, and then when they leave, the homeowner stays with a house of full of angry spirits. I go in there now, and that's when I get called a lot of the times. I go in and talk to everybody, calm them down. So I have to have good protection. If somebody actually gets through, they got to be bigger than what I have behind me, and what I have behind me is pretty big. So I trust them completely.
So everything that comes through to you is like, is it fair to say it's like it's been pre-assessed already before
Oh
you
yeah,
get
they got to
the
go through
message?
the process.
Yeah, it's like an interview stage. Like,
Right.
okay, you're
But
through to the next stage.
that doesn't mean I have not experienced dark also, because I have, but because sometimes you need to experience dark in order to know when it's light or dark, right?
Yeah.
You can't just I have witnessed and have participated and have done exorcisms. You cannot go into it, something like that, without knowing how the dark looks or feels, or what they're going to do next. You have to be very prepared for that.
So with something with an exorcism, then that's really dark. That's like danger for me. I would say that's something very dangerous to do. So
Right.
what's your preparation then? So before you go into it, what
Oh,
do you do, and then afterwards, what do you do once it's completed?
well, before I go into it, I spend at least 2 to 3 weeks preparing. Every single day, meditating, what people call prayer, whatever. And I have my certain things that I take, tools that I take with me. I get them, really charged up. I have to, when you walk into an actual exorcism, you have to be free of and clear of any doubt, any fear, because that's what they're going to go for, to bring you down, to bring you energetically down. So you go in there and you're just like, okay, I worked through everybody who's hurt me. I forgave them. I forgave myself. You got to, it's a process. Like a lot of people tell me, oh, I go and do an exorcism. I get the call on Monday and I'm there by Friday. I'm like, first, did you assess if there's other things? Like it could just be an attachment.
Yeah.
It could be, a spirit there that's angry, not necessarily an exorcism needed. It could be that the person may need some mental health, you know, that also can happen. So it's a process. I don't just go in there. I mean, I've actually, out of all the cases that have said that there's an exorcism, there's only like 5%, if that.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not like the TV shows. They don't lift up
No.
in the air, bend in half, start.
Well, no. I did witness one that got lifted up and down, up and down, up and down. But that was brought in by a lot of other stuff, that not just the spirit within them. I had to work through with that person for many other things than just that.
Okay. Cheryl's asked, have you ever had your guides telling you not to do a cleansing?
Yes, because that person needs to experience that.
Wow.
We
Okay.
Yeah, no. If you are in a house where it's haunted, okay, not every spirit is, like, people call it evil, which I just call it chaotic.
Yeah.
They may be just angry. You know, the homeowner may be destroying their property, or it could be a native guardian. They, instead of taking care of the grounds, they're throwing garbage all around, and they're making, they're throwing chemicals on the ground, or whatever the case may be. So I go in there and I kind of try to figure out what it is first,
Right.
and then do that. I go in there, and what I call is, like, come up with an agreement where both sides can live happily ever after, or coexist. And what I do is I just say, all right, what will make you happy?
Yeah.
And then so I, like, for example, there's one couple who was having a lot of trouble, and I found out it was a Native American guardians, because her great grandfather had killed a lot of the natives, and they were still very angry at the family. So I had to explain to that spirit, this is not the same people. So what can we do to kind of not make it even, but kind of, make it everybody comfortable? So they needed to plant some fruit trees around, and they needed to have family dinners every Sunday.
Okay.
And then after that, everything was calm. Once the homeowner started doing that, they had a reaction. They actually had blood in their mattress, in between the two mattresses, the day after. So that meant that it was kind of sealed, like all the blood that was shed before, it kind of got released. And then, after that, it was peaceful. As far as I know, still peace. You're welcome, Cheryl.
That's brilliant. And I've never asked this question before, but it's just popped into my head, right? So I'm going to ask you for the first time. So one thing that, as we go through like, the way I see life is we're set on a course. Basically, we go through things for a reason, until we come to the end of our journey. I see it as a journey. But with you, where you're so open, do you feel that you have more of an understanding of what's next after life? So, like, we can only anticipate, like, I believe once we're finished here, there's another realm that we go to, and we choose where we go from there. What's your thoughts about, once your journey on Earth is done, where do you believe that we go, or where would you go?
Well, we would go back to main meeting place, so to speak, the original classroom, and then you kind of debrief. So, okay, I went down to this lifetime to learn X, Y, and Z. Did I do it? Didn't I do it? What did I learn from it? How did my soul evolve accordingly? And then, if you want to, you could come back to human. You could come back as an insect or an animal to experience that. You could come back as the opposite sex, right? So I came back this time as a woman, and next one I could come back as a man. Or I could decide to go to a different place, different planet, different galaxy, different dimension, right? Because let's face it, there's a lot of dimensions at the same time. So there could be a lot of people, a lot of beings in the same space.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And that's how we can see when there's a ghost, because then at that moment we're so connected that we're able to raise our vibrations enough to then see their vibrational level.
Oh, that's brilliant. And again, you know, looking at the other side of things, like people live different lives. You have the
Mhm.
people that follow, make mistakes, but they learn and they make themselves better through those
Right.
mistakes. But then you have the people that don't treat life with the respect that it should be, make very bad decisions, and leave this earth not the best kind of person. Do you think they go to a different place? Like maybe I'm sort of going to heaven and hell here, you know, like that
Right.
sort of
I believe
is
this is
that
hell.
sort of thing.
I believe this is hell. So
What we're living now is hell,
yeah,
and
yeah, because
okay,
let's face it, we go through a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering to get to where we need to, right?
Yeah.
And I believe those that did not learn their lessons, whether they go good or bad, end up being good or bad at the end, have to come back to redo it. Right? You signed a contract. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, you know, you're buying a house. You got to come up with the money so they could give you the deed and stuff. So
mm,
the same thing. So, and as we are born, are born with free will. So even though you signed that contract, you could decide that no, this lifetime I'm going to go someplace else, and that's your free will.
Okay.
And it's you want to try it again, okay, but silly me, I want to do this just once and get it over and done with. Whatever lessons I'm supposed to learn in this one, and that I'm fine. You know, I'm looking forward to my little cloud with the virgin pina coladas.
oh, that's
The
I'll be with
bathed
the.
and
I'll be
Nando's.
the. I knew you were going to go there. I knew it as soon as you said that. I knew you were going to go with the Baileys. But so you're saying at the end of our life we get to choose what we do. Is that still like I don't know if you've done paranormal investigations, but that's what we are
Yeah,
known to do. Me and
right.
Rob with our teams. Um, when we make when we believe we've made a connection with a spirit, is that because they've chosen to stay in these locations, or because some people have the belief that they're grounded to those locations because of what happened in their life? What's
Right.
your thoughts with spirits still roaming
Well,
the earth and these locations?
here's the thing. There's different ways why spirits stay here. First, it could be that they feel guilty because somebody said, "Oh my God, you did so many bad things. You're going to go to hell." They don't want to go to hell, so they go up and they decide to roam around here. Then it could be that they're just reliving a part of their lives, like a rerun of a movie. They may not even realize that they're dead. That's another thing. If you're riding a bicycle and you get hit by a car over suddenly, you may not even realize that you're dead.
Mm,
And so you keep reliving that same cycle. Um, some people do that because they're attached to that place. They love that place so much when they were alive. That was the best time of their lives. So they decide to take a break from going back and recycling to another lifetime and all that, and stay there for a while. And then you have the situation where somebody binds them to a place, which is not good because you're taking away their free will to continue on or stay there, whatever they want to do. But some people have been known to bind spirits to a certain location because that's how they make money.
okay, I get that. And
Yeah,
just going back to the one that you were saying that we use this one as an example. The person that's been in a motorbike accident,
right,
they didn't know they were going to die, so they're reliving that.
right.
Have you encountered a spirit like that where you've been able to bring them out of that cycle and help them pass on? Is that
Yeah,
something that you're able to do? Is communicate and stop them from
we're all
living that
able to
same
do it.
thing?
We're all able to do it. If you can sense that spirit is there, you can talk to them, and it doesn't have to be in your mind or this way. They don't have. You could just say it. Look, I'm sorry to have to tell you this. It's time for you to move on to the light if you wish, because you're already dead. And let me tell you, there's a lot of the times that they're not aware that they're dead, or they've been, say, for example, one child that I encountered in a town near me, at this place I used to do a whole bunch of things. He was there and he was being very, I wouldn't say chaotic, but he loved to play jokes. He was 13 years old and he was beaten by his father to death. He was there over 70 years in that place, in that, piece of land. And whatever was built on that piece of land, and whatever new tenant came in, he would play jokes. He would put pies in different places. He would move around the coffee pot. He would move around everything. So once I explained to him that he's not going to go anywhere near his father, that his mother was waiting for him in what he called heaven, and that he didn't have to be with his father. And then I opened the what I call the door, and he saw his mother right at the edge of the door, right there in the door frame. And then he decided to go. He finally said, "Oh, wait, I could go," and he went. Now, I have witnesses to this because I had them all close their eyes and just hold out their hands like that. And as he was going up, the hands were going up like this. And that was about 12 people there.
Wow.
And the energy this boy had, everybody sensed that he was going up. So we were all kind of helping him lift up and go into what people call heaven, which I call the light. Just the peaceful dimension.
That's nice. That's really like, oh.
Yeah. It's from a sad start of the story to the end of it. It's yeah.
But
wow.
that's the stuff that anybody can do.
Do you find it harder, like when you're having to communicate with children? Like, is there, being a mother, being a grandmother, you have that parental instinct in you, and for me, I couldn't imagine, losing a child, but to have children come forward, is that quite? Do you find that more emotional than dealing with the older spirits?
Well, yes, it is emotional. It is a lot more emotional, but you learn that everybody has a different life, and you have to just say, okay, that was his life, and let's try to help it now. Let's try to make it better for him wherever he needs to go. If he decided to stay, then that was his choice at least. And but he understood that he wasn't going to go to hell because his father told him that he was going to go to hell and beat him up and all that. And he's saying, well, I don't want to go to heaven because he was all Christian and all that, and he's beating me up and me to death. Why would I want to go to heaven with him? He's saying that he was going to go to heaven. So I had to kind of basically go over the whole situation with him and explain to him everything. Now, I'm an ex-paralegal who did a lot of child protective cases. Wow. Okay. So I saw a lot when it came to children. So, it's kind of like you learn how to shield yourself before you get there. Yeah. Because it's not that you don't want to be loving or anything. You're still loving and all that, but you have to shield the empathic side of it, because otherwise you're going to feel that. And it's going to be very hard when you get out of there to shake all that off.
Yeah, so especially when you have that ability, you're doing those sort of cases, and then you've got this ability where, when you're reading through what had happened,
I actually felt them. I actually felt the child getting beat. I actually felt the child getting neglected. I actually felt the child's hunger when they weren't being fed. So I was like, I have to do something.
Did you find it very hard to do that sort of job then? Like,
yes.
It's hard enough just to go through as a person without the abilities to read those sort of files, but to have your ability and having them join.
Well, what I did was I looked at it this way. At least I'm helping them.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, so I turned it around, and that really helped me from that point on. When I finally said, "Wait, but I'm helping them," so
And have you ever been approached like by the police force and things like that when something's happened with your ability? You know, I've seen it on TV sometimes where they've used a psychic medium to help solve a cold case, for example. Have you been approached to do stuff like that?
yes, yes, I have,
And
and
what's that been like? That sort of
that
experience?
is really interesting because I'm able to get um, into the inside of them and look through the eyes. So, for example, the victims, I be able to tell how many trees there are, how many paces from the road. Um, it doesn't always happen because sometimes neither party is allowing you to do that.
Yeah.
But I get feelings. I could see. I've been able to locate animals, been able to locate children, been able to locate older people too.
Wow.
So
That's mind blowing. You know,
Thank
to
you,
be able
Matt.
to see you later, buddy. Love
cheers,
you. That's an amazing part of it to be able to help out. But where do you draw the line? Where you know, like in the future, do you see this as you're calling for the rest of your life, or do you see yourself saying that there's a certain point where I've got to say no more, and then just live yourself as Glenda and just do what you want to do?
At this very moment, and I worry about this, I focus on this very moment. Yes, this is my calling. 2 years from now, they may say, you know what? It's time to let others take care of that. So, and live as. And besides, I can't be just Glenda.
not anymore.
No.
Not anymore.
Have you ever been approached by like some of the big shows like Ghost Adventures, people like that, to do
No,
anything with
no.
them?
But I also have been. I have kept a lot of this stuff quietly
Yeah,
because sometimes you do better work when you're quiet. And I don't. Sometimes Hollywood is great
yeah,
because it brings awareness, but then there's also other sides of Hollywood.
yeah.
So
I do agree. I think sometimes doing it the way you're doing it as a course to help. I think, unfortunately, with things like the TV world and people that want to make it bigger, they lose sight of the real calling, and it sort of detracts what the reasons behind it all is, and you're focusing
that
too
one I
much
don't
on
mind
viewers'
being called or anything, but it's got to be with certain
rules.
directions, certain rules.
No faking.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, with like a lot of shows on like Netflix and things like that, there is all that kind of stuff that goes on.
Right.
It's
Because
not,
they're looking for the ratings.
yeah, yeah. It's not even so much the faking; it's the over exaggeration, isn't it? That's the thing. Like everything's a demon. We see it a lot in the UK. Like you go on YouTube, and there's one American guy at the moment that's getting a lot of flack from some of the debunking channels, Yasko. And I think his last 20 videos say I've been attacked by a demon, and they're like, Jesus, how many demons do you meet, mate? So yeah, it's we're not that bad in the UK. We don't always have demons, do we, Nando?
I've got a bit that for me. I think it's just used too much, the word demon. But
Yeah.
that's a good question for you, Glenda. You see a lot more than what we do.
Mhm.
Demons, do they exist, or is it something that has just been written in a book?
Demons exist, but they're not out here like an apple tree and all the apples. It's not like an everyday thing. Chaotic entities. There could be people who have been hanging around, spirits that have been hanging around for too long, and they pick up different negative energies, like a poltergeist, and they turn into opening doors, throwing people down the steps. Yes, that's not a demon. And a little like red thing with horns, that's not a demon either. That's your imagination seeing that little red thing with the horns. It's a demon is just like an angel.
Yeah.
Very powerful. They're not going to show up to every single event. It's going to be every once in a while, and they're not going to. They know they're lying. If you say no, and in the power of the divine, not even Jesus. Jesus to me, that's an ascended master, just like Buddha, and stuff like that. In the divine, the main guy, the person or the main girl, whatever it is, the main person entity up there, they have to listen. Everything, even in chaos, there's order, there's rules, there's techniques, there's tools. Everything has a procedure.
Procedure.
Oh, your son says good night, Nando. Good night, Gino.
He was meant to be in bed a little while ago. I did say off all the stuff before we started the show.
But he's got COVID, so we'd let him off. Benefit of the doubt.
I'm not gonna say too much. I'm gonna be nice. But yeah, so I don't know if you're gonna want to answer this, but like Rob said, a lot of the shows play on the word demon a lot. In your personal opinion, being the person that you are and the abilities that you have, how truthful do you think they are to the word demon, or is it just for the viewerships and getting the ratings?
I think what it is they cannot find a different wording that the masses know.
Okay.
If you say an angry spirit, it's not going to be as scary as a demon.
It's not going to trigger the algorithm on YouTube.
Right.
If you say chaotic spirit,
Right.
they're going to be like, oh, yeah. The minute you say demon, your video gets boosted. Yes.
Right.
But that's the thing. A lot of the stuff that, like, when we've done our investigations, we've come across a spirit that is annoyed.
Right.
You can't. I've never, like, when I put my little reels on YouTube, for example, I've never used the word demon because I just don't believe that it is. Do you know what I mean? It's
not everything is a demon. Not everything is out to get you. Not everything is going to kill you.
No.
It's it's how you walk in. I mean, for example, I walked into the Conjuring house a couple of years back, and before I even walked in, I asked the house for permission.
Yeah.
And I asked the house, can I come in? Is it okay? I'm here to make peace. I'm just here to let this investigation run smooth, and that's it. I didn't go in there saying, oh, I'm here to tape you, I'm here to record you, I'm here to no.
So in the Conjuring house, is the satanic circle downstairs like certain YouTubers make?
There's a lot of energy in that house. Now, whether it's satanic or not, I just picked it up as there's a lot of energy, and depends on where you go and how you treat the energy is how they treat you.
Because it'd be very interesting, because I watched Sam and Colby. I know they're a bit, people are like, yeah, they're fake, they're not fake. So it's a bit like, and I watch a lot of theirs, mainly for the entertainment. And, I think they're quite, they're very good. But they're spending 7 days up to Halloween in the Conjuring house. They've gone back to spend alone, and they're there for the whole 7 days. Be interested to see what happens.
Well, and what people don't understand is for an hour of entertainment, you may have to record 7 days because, the place can be active 1 minute and then be quiet for another week or two. So
it is definitely like that. I say that all the time because we have guests that join us on Paranormal Investigations, and we always say, don't take too much what you've seen on TV because they've got to record for a period of time, and sometimes you don't want to take anything that these certain YouTube channels put out there.
Right.
And it's like going fishing. You cast your rod, and then you could be there for ages before you get a bite. And the
Right.
bite could be so small. That's just the way it is. It's like it's pot luck,
And
isn't it? What you're
and
going
it
to
could
get.
just be a hey, and that's it.
Yeah.
But with paranormal investigations, do you go with groups? And you know, do you?
I have gone with groups, but not my own group. I like to keep it small.
Yeah.
Because I like to get the history of things. Like I like to talk to the spirits there and find out their story. And then I go to historical societies and or give the information to the owner and then let them go to the historical society to confirm the information. And to me that's what I'm there for. I'm not there to instigate, I'm not there to do any of that stuff. I want to learn what their history was, how they got there, why are they there. Like I've been to places where there was a 5-year-old little girl who said, the reason I'm still here, I come back is because I already went into the light, came back. I'm here because this is my favorite place. Because she was a reverend's daughter. She died out of one of the childhood illnesses. And the society, the people I did the investigation for, checked it out. They found her grave. They found the exact name I gave. They found that she died when she was around 5, and she just keeps coming back there because that was her favorite place. She loved the river. She loved the trees. She loved the area where she could play. So. And you would not have gotten that had I gone in there, instigating.
So do you use equipment or do you just use your ability?
My abilities.
Your ability.
Yeah. Not that I'm against the equipment. Actually, that sometimes is needed to confirm what you're saying.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
to
me, I'm good either way.
Good.
Perfect. No, that was amazing.
I enjoyed that.
No, it was great to see how you bring things forward and how you're doing it. I thought that was great. I really enjoyed learning more about you, Glenda, and and because it's great watching what you do when you're streaming, but to actually get an understanding what's going on in the background and what's working up here. Is I find it really fascinating because, like you said, everyone that we've spoken to that does like psychic mediumships and things like that, they all have a different way of doing things, and it's just great to, and the fact that you remember stuff from 2 years old, that's
it was big. It was something big.
Yeah,
it's been great to find out more about you, Glenda. I've really enjoyed having a chat.
Pop up on one of your lessons to delve more into what I am, kind of like.
Good. Yeah. So I'll send you the Zoom link.
Yeah.
Delve into what you are. You're a bit lost up here, mate. Anyway, yeah. Love you.
I'm sorry. Get back in your cage.
I'm sorry. That was not needed. I'm sure Glenda will be able to help you though. It'll most probably take up most of your diary, but hey,
oh wow, thank you.
Give it a go.
I'm all right. I'm not going through that much at the moment. I'm quite focused. I feel
he's got me in his life. That's why.
Yeah, that's probably what's
that's
damning
the
side.
focus.
This side's like, ooh. No.
I tell you what, guys. After the show, I'm going to be in so much trouble. If you don't see me next week, I've loved every minute of this. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for having me.
But no, it's been
a pleasure. Nice seeing you.
Absolutely great getting to know you. But just before you do go, can you just give all your locations a shout out where people can find you?
Sure.
So if they want to go and check you out, then they can.
The best place is my website, glendasmagicalcreations.com. And there you could find all the links and you could find me everywhere.
So like I said, all Glenda's links are in the video description. So feel free to go down, subscribe, go to the Magical Creations, join one of the Zoom maybe see you there while she sorts out
Yes.
my craziness, apparently. You having words?
I meant that with love.
Uh,
Lots of love. Lots of love.
Thank you very much for your insight and your guides. It's very nice to have you on the show, and we will get you back again.
Thank you.
In the new year, definitely.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
Thank you
and
for
just
having
again, you know, thank you for sharing a piece of yourself with us, and you know, because it takes a lot to open up and tell people your story, which is absolutely great. And I think what would be great, I don't know if you have done, but maybe writing a book, you know, about your journey. I think that would be a good thing to do. But,
I'm in that process. I
Oh,
already
okay.
written one. I wrote a book already, and it's a 5-book series. So I'm just working on the other ones.
There we
oh,
go.
let us know when you're going to get them published, and we'll be the first to
We're
give them a buy.
Well, one is
We'll
already out. One is already out. So
Okay, cool.
So-
what's the name of the book?
Chrysalis, Sarah's Chrysalis.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
So definitely check that. But again, it's been awesome getting to know you.
It's on Amazon, I should say.
Okay.
Oh, I'm on
Thank
that.
you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you very
much.
much.
Glenda. See you
Take
soon.
care, Glenda.
Much love.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
That was fun.
That was fun. I really enjoyed that. Apart from you, you know.
Listen. You guys want to hit me up about my Baileys all the time, right? Come on.
It's
I've had
not
it from
about the
you.
Baileys, mate. It's not about the Baileys at all. It's, you know, if you want me to put that photo up of you rolling up the stairs, that can be.
No. That wasn't
You know.
Have you really got a photo of that?
Oh, I have got a photo of you rolling up the stairs. Yes. I think I've even got a photo of you semi-unconscious on the sofa as well with your hangover.
You sod, I didn't know that.
It's amazing
Guys,
what cameras can do.
give a bit of love in the room for this amazing guy next to me. He's absolutely spot on. I take back everything I've said. Have you really got a picture of me hanging? Have you?
I have got a picture of you hanging. Yes.
Do you know? At the end of the day, we know it's all banter. I think what's great about what we do is, you know, is we just bounce off each other and we have a good laugh, and we hope everyone enjoys the content that we throw out there. We try and have fun.
It's not like a normal show, is it? With us two on, we are a bit bonkers.
Yeah, a bit bonkers. I like that. But no, and again, what a wonderful guest. You know, Glenda. She's absolutely lovely to find out how, just a piece of how her mind works. I'm sure there's so much more that she could elaborate on. And
I'm definitely going to look into digging deeper, see what this is. Don't say it again.
For me, I think that's the thing where me and you are different. You're more open to that. Me, I'm quite happy in my little bubble. You know what I mean? I know I've seen things, but that's it for me. You know, I can, but no, I think it's fair.
I've been meditating a hell of a lot more. I've been going down to there's a pond that's literally 10 minutes away from where we live, and I find myself sometimes I can't sleep. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm sitting down there listening to meditation on the headphones and zoning out. And you know, I was out at the weekend with Cameron, one of my teammates, and we were just chilling and talking about anything and everything spiritual. So it was quite nice to. So,
but it's not even that. On the more serious note of what you're doing, and this is for everyone. And I know, again, I go on about this all the time, but it really helps mentally. You know, find what helps you. Everyone is different to what helps them with their mental thoughts and how they deal with it. You know, so if yours is meditating, then go for it. You know, I think it's really important to find that path and, you know, use those techniques if it's helping you.
Yeah,
if it's finding you a focus and, you know, you're able to deal with things, then go for it. But
what have you got lined up for the week? Rest of the week? Anything with Portal?
What we got with Portal? So potentially I've got a show next Wednesday. I'm just waiting for a guest to confirm. So if it goes ahead, it'll be put on the portal page. But throughout this month, there's quite a lot going on with portal. We're linking up with a great team called the Patrol.
Oh, I've heard it. They're awful.
Yeah, the main guy is a bit of a wishy-washer, but whatever.
Oh, that big knob. Yeah.
No. We're going to be meeting up with Big Rob and potentially Cameron and Chloe, maybe.
Yep.
We're going to be hitting the ancient ram in with you.
Yeah.
That's going to be a great investigation. I know Dan's coming, and hopefully Sarah, depending on what's going on with home life. And then vice versa, we've got Rob coming to our investigation at the end of the month as well. We're going to be hitting up the Garden Museum. And
I've brought my ticket to come to Nuns Cross as well.
Mate, that place is weird. Like, just to give you a bit of a hint on this one, it's a cottage in the middle of Dartmoor. And it has no running electricity, no lights, nothing. There is no signal. Once you get to this cottage, you're on your own. And it's just a weird place, but surprisingly quite a lovely place as well. The stars in the evening were amazing. Like, going out, seeing the stars was just great. And then what else? And then we got we're heading to Derby Goal in October as well for an investigation. Yeah. So that'll be a good investigation.
Cool.
And then other than that, it's just continuing this path. There is things with Portal that we are discussing about doing things, taking things in a little bit of a different direction, but it's all, the planning and everything going ahead, but yeah, lots of exciting stuff. And then we're back with the Patrol.
So I've only really got the one thing planned, which is Global Ghost Hunt, the Ancient Ram in. It'll probably be my last time doing the Global Ghost Hunt. What were you staring at then? Why did you look?
No, something just flew across my face. A little fly just flew across my face.
Obviously I've got you guys from the portal coming, but I've also got not one but two debunkers coming.
Oh yeah, Beardo. It's Beardo one of them, isn't it?
So Purple will be joining us as well. And if anyone's not seen Purple, go and search for him on YouTube, because he is absolutely crackers. He makes me giggle every time. And yeah, I decided that I would ask, and him and Beardo have both kindly said, yep, they're come along. So that should be fun. And then obviously I've got the one with you, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and do you know what's great about what we're doing is two separate teams. Like, I might not be the most popular person for saying this, but on the intro you have the word para-unity.
Yes.
And I think it's like the word demon sometimes. It's just thrown around so easily, but not enough is used in the correct manner. And I apologize if I offend anyone, but people should know me by now. I'll say what I've got to say. And I think what's nice about what we do, we're two separate teams, and we just get on, and that's what para-unity should be.
Yeah.
And it'll be great, not just in the paranormal field, but in any kind of field whatsoever. I like the one word that I do like you use is just be kind.
Exactly. And actually, the Just Be Kind hashtag was after Purple was basically attacked by people that he had debunked, and it made him feel really crappy. So he put out a nice video, and then all of his followers, we all just said, hashtag Just Be Kind. And since then it's gone everywhere. It's Twitter, it's and we all use it in the Discord, and it's like, let's just start like getting along with people. All right, we may not agree with what everybody does on YouTube or on telly. I've had my beef with Zach before. I with the demonic cow. I'm like, mate, it's a fucking cow at the side of the road. But at the end of the day, you know, he's got a job to do. You know,
Yeah.
he has to maintain viewers, and likewise with some of these big YouTube channels that have got like millions of subscribers. They don't want to lose their subscribers so that they don't make their money. All right, they could be a little bit more truthful and not be over exaggerating enough, but you know.
I think, you know, if you know when you're watching something that it's not for you, just don't get personal. You know,
Yeah,
I think just move on from it. You know, I think
zero subscribers all.
But no, to be honest, what I would say, if you've got a valid point, put it in a nice way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the person is or what they've done. Don't make it personal. You know, don't get personal about them. And I think that's the same with anything in life. Too many people waste their lives on just trying to bring another person down, and in effect, you're making your life harder than you are theirs.
That's
you know, because at the end of the day, we can hit that block button, we can move on from it. You know, just focus on what you want to do with life and enjoy the life that, because at the end of the day, we don't know how long we've got here. So make the most of what's around you and focus your energy on that. Don't focus your energy on people that are not going to have a real influence in your life, or so
that's true.
let's leave it. Just be kind, but that's the way we're going to leave it on.
So we have got next week is going to be either a reaction video, and you're going to watch Nando spill his Baileys as he gets scared,
or we could have three amazing guests on.
Could have three amazing guests, which we won't say who they are because I'm waiting to get confirmations. I'm not even going to give any hints. We're just going to say possibly.
Either way, it's going to be a great show.
And then the week after that, we have the one and only Parple coming on, and it's going to be a different sort of podcast. It's not going to be so much paranormal and debunking. It's going to be about TV shows and movies and a bit of everything. Parple's a massive Doctor Who fan, as am I. Nando needs to.
Here we go again. Like
Who, otherwise he could be in trouble.
Doctor Who is like Star Wars. It just makes no sense to me whatsoever. It just doesn't. And
you're not going to get on very well on that podcast.
I'm thinking on that particular show, should I just sit in the back and just watch? Because especially if you two start geeking out about Doctor Who, I'm
geeking out over is David Tennant at the moment. The fact that he's come back to be the Doctor is like, wow, amazing.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, but
so, this might be the first show, guys, that you'll see me with nothing to say because
I haven't got words.
I haven't got a clue about Doctor Who.
But in that sense, I want to say my goodbyes. I want to say thank you to everyone for coming. And great news, we've actually maintained our stream on all channels tonight. It's a miracle.
Winner.
Love us, Nando.
So it must have been a fault with StreamYard then.
Yeah, maybe.
But we did it.
We are now streaming. And have you noticed everybody's chat that's come up? It's not Facebook user or anything. It actually brings up their real names as well, which I've noticed. Whereas with StreamYard, you have to do like
the link and everything. So Kevin's just said Tennant's coming back. Awesome.
Yeah, so Tennant's coming back for the 60th anniversary special, which is due November time. He's doing 3 specials with Donna Noble before Ncuti Gatwa becomes the new Doctor.
Everyone's liking this, and I ain't got a clue what you're talking about.
What?
Which is
so,
any Harry Potter fans?
Yeah, on that note, we're off. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming on tonight.
Okay, just shut me down. Bye, everyone. Have a nice evening, day, wherever you are, and we will see you next week.
Much love, guys. Thank you very much.